Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for stopping by. Today, we are making one of my all-time favorites, and that is a steak. The technique we're going to use is reverse searing, and that's a technique by which you start the steak in an oven and then finish it on the stovetop, searing it in a skillet. We're going to go ahead and finish that steak with a board dressing, which is a mixture of herbs. In this case, we're going to be using some parsley, thyme, rosemary, as well as some garlic, salt and pepper, olive oil, and a little bit of balsamic. We're going to chop up those herbs and mix everything right on the cutting board. I'm going to put our steak on there and slice it, and then turn and coat each slice with the board dressing. It really takes your steak to the next level. One thing I do want to point out is in this video, I'm cooking my steak at 300 degrees for 30 minutes in the oven. Now, that's not a recipe for success all the time. So many factors. How's my oven calibrated? How thick's my steak? What temperature do I want? There's only one way to find out the temperature of your steak, and that's using a thermometer. So I really encourage you to get an instant read thermometer or a probe thermometer that you can leave right in the meat while it's cooking, and you can see the temperature real time. Enough talking about how to make this steak. Let's go ahead and see how we do it right now on Making It with Crust. Before we start cooking the steak, we're going to liberally salt the surface with kosher salt and let it rest for about an hour. This will draw moisture to the surface, dissolve the salt, then that salty liquid will get reabsorbed back into the steak where it will season and tenderize the meat. You can see at the 15-minute mark, not a lot's happened, but at 30 minutes, a significant amount of the salt's dissolved. By 45 minutes, most of the liquid's been reabsorbed, and at the 60-minute mark, we are good to go. On a wire rack over a rim baking sheet to promote air circulation, we're going to put our steak into a preheated 300-degree oven. We're going to let that go for 25 to 30 minutes. While the steak's in the oven, let's turn our attention to the board dressing. 1 tablespoon each of rosemary and thyme, a half a cup of parsley, 1 garlic clove, a half a tablespoon of kosher salt, some fresh cracked pepper, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and a 1/4 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. Go ahead and chop up those herbs and microplane that garlic into that. Go ahead and mix that up to incorporate. And then we'll go ahead and add the last few ingredients. So the kosher salt, a couple of turns of fresh cracked pepper. Pour your olive oil right onto the cutting board, onto the herbs. Don't be scared. Last ingredient, the balsamic vinegar. This is pretty potent. A little bit goes a long way. That's why we're using a 1/4 teaspoon. Go ahead and mix all that up and make yourself a little nest, because that's where we're going to put the steak when we slice it. Okay, out comes the steak, and right now has an internal temperature between 110 and 115 degrees. I will list temperatures / doneness and times in the description below. 2 tablespoons of clarified butter into a screaming hot cast iron skillet. And then we're going to add our steak, top side down, that's the dry side. We're going to tap the bottom with the paper towels to remove any excess moisture before flipping after 30 seconds. Add a couple of sprigs of rosemary and a couple of crushed garlic cloves so that butter to flavor it up. And we're going to baste the top of the steak. Again, I'm flipping every 30 seconds to prevent that overcooking. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, last flip, and now we're going to sear the edges, get a little bit of color on that. Last side. And now let's take it to a little herb nest. No need to let this rest. Go ahead and slice right away. Any of the juices that come out are going to mingle with the board dressing, making this even more delicious. So turn to coat each slice into the board dressing and plate. This is truly one of the best steaks I have ever had. And the last piece doesn't make it to the board. So there you have it. I finished this with a little bit of Maldon sea salt. This technique and the board dressing together really take the steak to the next level. I hope you like this. Hope you'll give it a shot. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, get in the kitchen and be a good human being. Thanks for watching.